All right. Hello and welcome to everyone across the country. So this is the evening that we are doing our April Bug Jam live stream. It's our first time doing a Bug Jam, so it's very exciting. I am quite excited myself. I know I've invited a lot of my QA friends, so I can't wait to see what our students have got for us today. My name is Tiffany Hall. I'm an alumni of the TripleTen Software Engineering Program. I'm currently a full stack engineer at Scholastic Inc., which is the world's largest publisher of children's books. And I also have my own website, which is rilexcustomworks.com. So you can check that out. Tonight, I get to be the host, though, for all of our very first Bug Jam. I'm glad to see that so many of our students were able to join us today. And we are going to go ahead and begin by talking about what a bug jam is so we can get everyone on the same page. So you can go ahead and put away your large stomping boots. We won't be killing any actual bugs. This is more like a metaphorical bug if you're not familiar with that. So at TripleTen, we have a lot of competitions, very friendly competitions, where we put our students in teams. And during the course of their normal coursework, they have a very short time competition, 5 days, where they get together, jam out a bunch of work to meet whatever the prompt is. So this time it's a bug jam. So our participants divided into teams and they were challenged to collaboratively check the apps that were previously created from our February code jam so that they could then log the bugs, find the bugs, stomp the bugs, squish the bugs, spray the bugs, all the bugs. So our teams only had 4 days, 5 days to make their projects. We are going to show off their presentations today, and then we are going to judge them over the next week. And then the judges will evaluate both the QA portion of it, so all of the work that you're going to see they put in, and then they're also going to have judges evaluate the presentation as well, because we all know it's really good to have a great presentation skills. So what do they win? All of the students who compete are going to be eligible to win prizes. Most of all, we just like to compete because we like to crush each other's souls during coursework and win for pride. So beyond that, I'm sure we're going to get some lovely TripleTen swag, but there is a place where you can help crush the souls of other people. Friendly soul crushing. Um, if you are an audience member, you can go ahead and participate by voting down in the comment section, or if you're a fellow classmate, you can then vote on our Discord channel where we will have the voting poll up for you as well. All right, let's get started. So this is my favorite part. We're going to go ahead and start with our first team, which is Bug Jammin', JMN is the team name. And I'm going to go ahead, they've pre-recorded theirs. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so I can play that for you. And then we will talk to them after the presentation. All righty. Oh, good. And Whiskey's joined me.
Hey everyone, I'm Mitchell, part of the Bug Jam and QA team. Today we're jumping into our testing journey with the Spring Cleaning Scheduler app. But first, let's give a shout out to the rest of the Bug Jam and crew who tackled this project head on.
Hey guys, I'm Jasser.
Hey, I'm Mitchell.
And I'm Nish.
Okay, so let's talk about how we tested this application. First, we're going to walk you through our goals and how we approach things, the testing strategies we used, bugs we found, and any hurdles we had to overcome. We'll also share with you how we brainstormed a few ways to make the app better through feature discovery. Then we'll conclude by reflecting on the app's current state and sharing the lessons we learned. Our main objective was to put the Spring Cleaning Scheduler app under the testing microscope, ensuring that it's not just functional, but also easy and intuitive to use. Our first impression of the app was that it needed some work. Overall, It's usable, visually appealing, includes basic to-do list functions, but it does not meet all initial product requirements and is not quite yet ready for release. Now Nish will talk with you about our testing methodology.
Awesome. Thanks, Mitchell. So from the start, we knew this project required a bit of detective work. So we put our thinking caps on and got hands-on with the app, exploring it just like a user would. We broke down potential features into small, testable chunks, drawing on our experience and thinking about how to-do list apps should work. We tested across the board, typical use cases, unexpected inputs, edge cases, and even ensured the app runs smoothly across 7 different environments. So we ended up running a whopping 415 test cases across various environments. And what did we find? That about 17% of them failed. The good news is, though, the vast majority of issues were actually lower in severity. And what we want to highlight, though, are the critical bugs. We'll uncover why these were higher priority fixes and how they could impact a user's experience. Okay, so imagine that your to-do list is like a closet. Now, what would it be like if you could never throw anything away? That's what we discovered. Users can't delete individual tasks. Outdated tasks can just hang around. The user isn't able to focus on what matters. And if they make a typo in their task, well, it's basically there forever. This isn't just annoying, it breaks user trust. The app feels inflexible, almost like it's working against them. So the bottom line here is not being able to clean up your tasks significantly hurts the overall user experience. Okay, so you can't get rid of anything in your closet. So you're thinking, maybe I'll just move those clothes to a different spot to keep it a bit more organized. When we tried to drag an individual task to a new location in the task list, it didn't budge. Users are stuck with the initial order they enter tasks, regardless of changing urgency or evolving plans. They're left to mentally keep track of priorities or use external workarounds, adding an extra layer of effort. And different users prioritize differently. Without a way to assign priority to a task, the app can't match those varied needs. And that leads us to our last bug, Emily. Who is she and where is she now? Although the app requirements don't mention it, editing a name is an expected part of most profile setups important for user control. This is a sign of inflexibility, which makes the app seem rigid and uncaring about individual needs, potentially harming the user's overall perception of the app. Okay, Jezzer, will you take it from here and share our challenges?
Of course, thank you, Niche. This testing project wasn't without its obstacles. Let's address a few key roadblocks that we encountered. Without being able to talk directly with the developers, we had to define the requirements ourselves. This ambiguity cost us valuable time. 4 days for a full testing cycle was intense, especially while balancing varying life schedules. We have to prioritize potentially leaving less frequently used features or unusual user flows uncovered. Without additional resources, tasks like simulating heavy usage or testing how its security measure protects the user data were unobtainable. Every app has the potential to improve, so we put our heads together and came up with a list of features we think will improve the app. Things like the ability to reorganize task lists, add descriptions and priority flags, and even a calendar view will give the user more control and flexibility. So in conclusion, the app needs some work. It's usable, visually appealing, and has essential functions. But because it does not meet all the initial product requirements, it is not yet ready for release. And while we didn't get to show you every bug, the ones we demonstrated highlight how these issues could seriously disrupt the user experience and quality of the app. Of the 17% of the test cases that were failures, 50% of those were major disruptions that prevents the desired functionality. 30% were serious problems that negatively affect the user experience, and 20% were minor problems that could easily be worked around or likely even ignored by the user. Now let's talk about teamwork. Our ability to truly investigate the applications was made possible by our collaborative teamwork. We communicated with each other often, and effectively making sure everyone was always on the same page amongst these schedules. Everyone eagerly stepped up to take ownership of tasks, showcasing a collective team spirit. Overall, we consistently came together to creatively build on our project idea and support each other when we had questions. Our trust in each other ultimately allowed us to function like a well-oiled machine. If we could continue this project, our next step would be to meet with the developers to discuss gray areas in the requirements. This clarification would have made our testing process more efficient and better aligned with the overall project goals. Thank you so much for giving us your time. Are there any questions for us?
All right. That was wonderful. All right. So we are going to talk with Team Bug JMN or Team Bug Jammin. I'm not sure which it is. I'm sure they'll tell us. But we have on the team Nichelle Newman, Mitchell Allen, and Jezer Medina. So let's start with Nichelle. Hello, Nichelle.
Hey, sorry, I had a toddler in the other room, so I had to do a quick little shift there.
That's okay. I have a dog who acts like a toddler, so
Basically the same thing.
pretty much mine's just furrier, I'm sure. So let's talk about skills that you have learned in the TripleTen QA program over the last few months. Which ones do you feel like were the most useful to you during this bug jam?
I'd definitely say being able to break down requirements into atomic blocks, because when we were looking at the requirements, there were a lot of gray areas, and because of that, we kind of had to do some brainstorming and think of them in atomic blocks and kind of almost make things up on our own.
Okay.
And then also, writing test cases, that was really helpful because it really broke things down to make sure we were being thorough and not missing anything.
All right. So Mitchell, this next question is going to be for you. You have to unmute. There you are. Okay, good. Hi. So in terms of the documenting of the test cases, so, we've heard about how you were learning those atomic blocks and kind of breaking things down. Can you maybe explain for the viewers at home what it means to document these bugs?
So basically, we needed to make sure that we had everything kind of all in one place as to what we were actually testing, what needed to be performed on the application to do the test, and then also like what the results of that testing was, and essentially just a nice organized way to go, hey, this is the result of what we were experiencing with the application.
And were you guys using the Jira platform for the documentation?
Yes, the Jira was for where we would put our bug reports.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much to Nichelle Newman, Mitchell Allen, and Jezer Medina. That is Bug JMN or Bug Jammin. Which one is it, guys? I don't know which one it is.
I kind of like Jammin', but we
Yeah.
mainly
Jammin'.
picked the name just because it's our initials, so it kind of worked out well.
Yeah.
Bug Jammin' it is. All right. Well, thank you guys very much for the presentation. We are going to move now to Pest Control, which is Bobby Cothran, Megumi Kajigaya, and Christopher Smith. So come forward to the front. You are the next contestant. Who's presenting?
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can.
All right. And Megumi, are you there?
I can see her face.
Yes.
Oh, there she is.
Let me share my screen so we can have the presentation slides.
Okay.
Just a moment. Okay. Oh, it says I cannot start screen share while the other participant
Oh,
participant is sharing.
rookie mistake.
I
I
can't talk.
stopped. I need
I'm
to
feeling a
stop
little
sharing.
nervous.
That's totally my
I am
fault.
too. It's okay.
Don't be nervous. It's only like just you, me, my dog. It's totally fine.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna. Here we go. All right, Chris, it's all you.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. Good evening. I'd like to thank you all for coming and giving us a couple minutes. I'd like to introduce myself and my esteemed, wonderful, little bit nervous colleagues, Megumi Kaji Gaya, Bobby Cothran, and myself. I'm Christopher Smith. So we're here tonight to do something that I've personally grown to love over the past few months, which is picking apart and critiquing other people's work. In this presentation, we'll aim to discuss the Busy Day Spring Cleaning app. We'll talk about some of the challenges faced by the quality assurance pest control team, such as vague requirements, strict timelines, and non-functional and functional bugs, as well as a few strategies we used to overcome. Most importantly, the reason that we're here, the bugs being jammed in this April Bug Jam. So as you may know, the app we're currently working on is called the Busy Day for Spring Cleaning Schedule and Task Prioritization app. The application has a goal in assisting users in organizing their spring cleaning activities. Basic functions should allow users to add, prioritize, schedule, and track their tasks on any given day selected by the user at will. It's simple, it's straightforward, and in my opinion, aesthetically pleasing. After receiving access to the app, receiving all necessary information, of course, meeting my teammates for the first time, we got to work. One of the very first things we had to learn in TripleTen, which was as the QA engineer, would be the QA engineer workflow. We're back in chapter 1 of Sprint 1. I knew how important these things were, but I didn't know how important they were. Given the rapid timeline, adherence to this is absolutely paramount. Basically, consists of a few important steps: planning, analysis, design, execution. Once we did that, we kind of got a game plan. Next step was to analyze the requirements. Took the guidance and inspiration from Sprint 2, Chapter 2, TripleTen. We attempted to visualize the requirements and decompose into smaller blocks. By Sprint 3, Chapter 2 helped us proofread and be on the lookout for any gray areas. Speaking of gray areas, this project brought quite a few unique difficulties. In Sprint 3 and TripleTen, it gave us various tools and concepts for black box testing. Typical user interface discrepancies with the addition of unclear and vague requirements made this an interesting process, to say the least. After reviewing our documents, breaking our requirements, functional and non-functional, as best as we could with the skint requirements, our goal was to try to define testing objectives and lay out scenarios. Generally, you would hope that the requirements adhere to the acronym SMART from Chapter 2, but it's not always the case, and in this one, it didn't seem like it was. Quite a few gray areas, but we'll discuss that a bit later. Again, in Sprint 2, I believe we're able to uncover and identify most of the issues, if not all. I believe we also provided the developer the proper information on how to prioritize, replicate, and eradicate the nasty little bugs. At this time, I'd like to pass it over to Megumi, and she'll give you a rundown on how and what we did in the final couple steps. Megumi, it's all you.
Okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh,
I can.
hold on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh. Oh, you can? Okay, sorry.
Yes.
Right, let's go back. So I'll be talking mainly about how we approach the testing and what sort of bugs we have found. To make sure the app works with popular browsers and devices, we reviewed statistics and selected several popular devices, screen sizes, operating systems, and browsers to test the app with. And we also tested some features like task management, scheduling, and progress tracking. And here are some tools that we used. We used Google Sheets to create test cases. We used Jira to create bug report. We used Android Studio to emulate some mobile devices, and we used BrowserLink to test the app with older browser versions. Okay, by the way, I wonder if everyone's seen this toolbar, which is very in a way on my screen, but okay, maybe this is better. Okay, and here's test results. We have created a total of 67 test cases, and 73% of them passed the requirements. And we also have found some bugs in pending cases. And here are a graph of different severity, number of the bugs we found. Majority of the bugs we found were minor, and the system seems to work fine. However, we found some more critical bugs that would influence the usability. We found some compatibility issues when the app was tested with certain browser, an older browser version, and also on mobile devices or mobile phones. And lastly, here are some areas we see potential issues and would like to request for more information. Weather icon, we could not tell it was functioning fully. Username, we could not change the username, and we were stuck with Emily. We could not see if the new list that was created was saved. We had some issue with list title fields. We did not know what exactly calendar view was expected to be. We saw a calendar, but it did not look like the scheduling, the calendar view that you can schedule task and see it in one place. There was also unclear explanation on how the progress tracking mechanism should be. And that covers all the testing and bug reports aspect of the project. I'm going to return it to Chris so he can talk about the collaboration process and close our presentation.
Okay. Thank you. As my partner was saying, she did a very good job. I think aside from the 2 or 3 absolutely critical bugs that we found, there were several major bugs, but the majority of issues that I noticed and looking at the work of my teammates, it was mostly gray area pending issues where you would need to get further advice from developers and so on. I'm not Emily, and I'm pretty sure most users would like to change their name starting, but there's no requirements for that. Okay, so during this project, over the past 5 days, we've gotten quite a bit of hands-on experience with many things, especially the things we've learned recently over the past few months. SDLC, STLC, takes on workflows, how they affected this type of application, importance of direct, concise, the script tests that actually match what you're saying, as well as how to take the appropriate steps to put forward the best product for the user. Gray areas were probably the biggest aspect of this that took up the most time. That being said, The planning session during this project included something else that was new to me, something new yet incredibly fruitful, which was working with teammates. It took a bit of back and forth, but once we all got on the same page, we were off and running. We quickly came together as a single cohesive unit, decided and delegated, divided, and I think we conquered. I personally found it not only easy, but a pleasure working with Megumi and Bobby. As far as challenges, I found that the biggest was getting us all at the same time, in the same place because of different time zones. That was something I did not anticipate, but we made it work. That being said, I can think of several instances when both Bobby and Megumi were exceptional teammates. One in particular woke me up from a nap when I realized I'd forgotten something crucial, and thank God that she did. Working together towards a common goal, we were efficient, exponentially more productive, and simply put, something you cannot learn in a TripleTen is camaraderie, and something I'd say is equally as important as squashing bugs, which be making a friend or two. In closing, this project has given us appreciation and a better understanding for several key processes in the SDLC, things we learned back in Sprint 1, specifically more the STLC. Although we weren't part of the entire process, we were given insight into the process as a whole and various methodologies, such as those discussed in the beginning. And it made it easier for us to wrinkle out any irons and iron out any wrinkles and bugs to be squashed. Thank you. And we're here for questions.
Fantastic. Really well done. So the first question I have is, I think for you, Christopher, around this magical concept you call the black box testing. Yeah, black box testing. It sounds just like spooky and scary and like a Pandora's box, but I want to open it and I don't know what that is. So maybe you can explain a little more about that.
So black box testing would be exploratory testing that you would get from the outside, not being able to see the code and what's on the inside, more or less. Be various versions of, like I said, exploratory testing, hands-on approach, putting in fields, and so on. It's my personal favorite because who doesn't love wasting time and, pushing buttons? Anything you can think of. That's the imagination. That's the magical part. Your imagination.
All right. And so then, Megumi, the question I have for you is around user cases. You were talking about writing user cases, and that you guys wrote 67 of them. And so what does a user case entail? Is it something like, there's a 38-year-old lovely with purple hair, and she's going to click the buttons, and her name is not Emily? Or is it something way more kind of structured that you're like, this is just the user flow we're looking for?
Yes. So user cases are I don't know how to explain.
It's all right. Give it a shot.
Before we release the app, we try to test in different conditions. So when it's actually released and users are using the app, it is it functions fully in every conditions, and sometimes users might press the button that they're not supposed to press, or sometimes they might put numbers that they're not supposed to put in. So we want to make sure those invalid inputs are not accepted, so things works fully smoothly. We want to make sure all the features and functions, like adding new lists, adding new titles, things like that works perfectly in different browsers, different devices, screen sizes. We want to kind of test the app before it's get out. We want to test it in the realistic situations.
Okay.
So
it's like you're creating user situations.
Works flawlessly when it's actually out. Yes.
Gotcha. Very cool. Well, I appreciate that that your team had to fight with time zone differences. That is a wonderful opportunity for you guys to be practicing that. One of my teammates is currently living in Africa, so you know, morning stand up for me is afternoon stand up for him, and so it is a real thing that it's a global business. This quality engineering and software development thing. So really great that you guys got to experience that and figure out a flow now, because you can call on that later on when you're being interviewed. All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you guys very much for your presentation. Again, that is Pest Control with Bobby Cothran, Megumi Kajigaya, and then Christopher Smith. And so
Thank you.
next, we're going to do, I'm going to show Bug Squad, who is Jasmine Darty, Matthew Peterson, and then Beatriz Lopez Albertin Moratelli. And I have their presentation here. So I'll get that open. Do, do, do. All right, where's the share screen button? There we are. Okay. Marvelous. Okay, here is Team Bug Squad.
Hello, today I will be introducing our team and talking a little bit about the types of testing we have done. So I'm Beatriz Moratelli, and we have Matthew Peterson and Jasmine Dard as well in our team. So we have been working in this app where the users can schedule tasks that will help them to organize the everyday activities. The app is called Busy Day. So during the development of our test case, we performed different kinds of tests to make sure that everything was covered, which included functional, compatibility, positive, negative, and layout testing. For the functional test, we ensured that all features and functionalities were working as they should be. And to test it, some of our cases were like to check if the users could add, edit, and delete tasks from the list, from the app. And here we have two examples of functional. One of them is entering a task and hitting enter adds a task to the list. And another one is the user can delete a task from the list. And now Jasmine is gonna talk about positive testing.
All right, and so with positive testing, we were ensuring to add tasks with valid inputs to check if they were correct, if they were saved and displayed correctly. So we also had examples of our positive testing, which we tested the month fields to make sure that it only accepted 12. And then we also tested to make sure the date accepted 30. And with the negative testing, we checked how the app responds to invalid inputs. This involved testing boundary conditions, error message, and scenarios where users input incorrect data. And then for the examples of our negative testing, we tested that the month field and the date field did not accept Latin numbers or Latin characters or numbers that wasn't within the date. And then we also did layout testing. We ensured that the visual elements and the application designs were displayed correctly across different devices and screen sizes. We also verified the elements such as text and buttons were aligned and positioned properly. And then we have the example of our layout testing. We noticed that the greeting was missing a punctuation. And now I'm going to pass it off to Matt.
So our test results, we used a pie chart to represent the percentage of test cases that have passed or failed. And this provided a better overview of our testing. So we had 65 test cases, 55 of which passed and 10 failed. So it was a 55% or 84.6% pass rate and a 15.4% fail rate. We think that creating test cases ensures that all the functionalities of the application are covered. By analyzing specific scenarios and expected outcomes, test cases helped us identify potential issues in the development process. It ensures that all of the application is of high quality and efficient, leading to a better user experience. We used Google Sheets for creating our test cases, Jira for generating our bug reports, and Google Slides for crafting our presentation. So here you can see visualizing the bug severity percentage. We had 4 medium priority, 3 low priority, and 3 high priority. This kind of helps us identify the issues that are most crucial and where to focus our work on. Some of the challenges that we faced were without a Figma layout and clear requirements. We found it a little challenging to come up with test cases. The vagueness of the requirements made it difficult to determine what to include and what to leave out. Sometimes it was confusing to know the difference of test techniques. Either it was a functional test or a layout test, but we also made decisions about the best approach to organize our test cases, such as to test specific fields individually or combined. But despite those challenges, we were able to overcome them effectively as a team. So the time spent on creating our test documents and running test sessions, we spent about 2 hours discussing strategies and splitting the project among the team. For test cases, the total time spent on test creation was about 4 hours, and running tests and bug reports, performing manual testing to ensure maximum coverage of the app's functionality, and writing bug reports was about 2 hours. Throughout this project, the collaboration among the team was perfect. Even facing different time zones and considering our full-time jobs, our team worked together effectively to achieve our goals. We encountered difficulties in understanding and interpreting the project requirements, but through communication and the exchange of ideas and opinions, we were able to overcome these obstacles. The most valuable aspect of our collaboration was the diversity of perspectives and the ability to help each other figure out the best way to develop a quality end product. We believe that we were able to produce a high quality work, and we were very proud of what we accomplished as a team. So in conclusion, we thought that the Busy Day app was a really good app and has the potential to be a very useful tool, especially for people with busy lives. However, the bugs that we found, they do have a significant impact on the overall functionality of the app, which greatly reduces its overall use. So that is what we found, and those are our findings, and that is our presentation. So thank you for listening.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that was pretty rad. I really enjoyed all of the animations in that presentation. So more importantly, though, Matt, let me ask you a question. You were talking about the slide around severity of bugs. How do you decide as a team which bugs are more severe than others?
I think that, can you hear me? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that anything that's going to reduce the usefulness of the app, that's going to take away from its intended use, is going to be the deciding factor of whether or not it's a severe bug. Like maybe some text being off or missing punctuation somewhere, not that severe, but if you're clicking on a date and you're trying to assign a task to it and it's not working, now the busy day app where you're trying to plan your busy day is not as convenient as it should be.
Sure. Yeah. No, that definitely makes a lot more sense. So kind of form over function, right?
Right, right.
Got it. And then, Beatrice, I wanted to ask you a question about what your favorite part of the bug jam, the bug jam experience was.
Hey guys, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So it was my first time working on a team and I just loved it.
Awesome.
We were able to share our opinions and suggestions and without any complaints, different kind of time zones. It didn't affect at all our work. So I'm very happy about it. I was very nervous assigning this project because I was like, I'm not sure if I can do it, you know, but I was enjoying it, the whole process.
That's great.
Yeah, I hope I can do it more time, more often.
Oh, all right. So did you hear that, Nadia? I know Nadia is listening behind the scenes and more bug jams to come.
Yes, yes.
All right. Well, that is the Bug Squad, and that is Jasmine Darty, Matthew Peterson, Beatriz Lopez Albertin Moratelli. Thank you guys very much for your presentation.
Thank
We
you.
are going to move to our last presentation for the evening. It is Bug Zappers, which is Alberto Romero, Anna H., and then Troy Giebel. And I have their presentation also. So let's see. Share screen. Let's go back. All right, magical unicorn available. Fantastic. And then let's get their project going.
Welcome to the Bug Zappers presentation for the April 2024 Bug Jam. My name is Troy and I will be presenting for my team today. I'll start by introducing my team, then go into a few of the bugs we found in the Busy Day software, and present what our team learned from this project. I'll let my teammates introduce themselves.
Hi everyone, my name is Alberto Romero. I'm currently a barber with 8 years of experience. I attended barber school right after high school and been doing this ever since. I stumbled upon TripleTen and thought QA engineering was a perfect fit for me.
Hi, my name is Anna. I first learned of QA when I was sourcing for commission 2 years ago, and it's been on the back burner since until recently. I'm hoping that QA will be my transition into working remotely.
And my name is Troy Giebel. I am a video game composer. I graduated from Brigham Young University in 2022 with a degree in music composition. And I have stumbled upon QA and have decided to make it an intermediary career while I network as a composer. I am very much enjoying myself in this program. In our tests, we found a few interesting bugs. In prioritizing the tasks section, Anna found that it is not possible to drag and drop tests as described in the requirements. Alberto, when testing the UI, discovered that tasks cannot be arranged by priority. And I discovered in testing the calendar that it allows 31 days to be placed in months that do not have 31 days. Overall, we had an 18% rate of bugs, with 33 of our 183 total tests failing. Looking back on this project, we had some pretty interesting challenges to overcome between communicating remotely and loosely coordinating our busy schedules. Despite these challenges, we were able to put together an effective project and do some fairly comprehensive testing on the site. Each member of the team brought value to the table and did their work efficiently. In the future, we will use this experience to further improve our communication with our teams and continue to bring our best to each of our projects. Thank you for your time.
All right. That was fun. I very much enjoyed the just clutch move of having your bios be done in the format of the little cards. That was unexpected, but a lot of fun. So again, let's just go over who that was. That was Bug Zappers with Alberto Romero, Anna H, and Troy Giebel. And Alberto, I see that you are on our call, so I'm going to ask you first. In terms of like the project itself, what do you think the next step is when going and taking all of those results you guys have back to developers? Like, are you learning how to approach that with developers? Myself, definitely not, but I can say that some other developers who don't like feedback, definitely not me. And so what is your idea about like taking that feedback and bringing it to developers in a way that will be well received?
So yeah, just telling them like the bugs we had and everything we encountered. Like everyone mentioned too, there was a lot of gray areas. Uh, yeah, we needed more clarity on like what the requirements needed and how the layout was actually supposed to look. But yeah, I would say like yeah, just pretty much mentioned about all those gray areas.
Yeah, I do remember that it is something that I think is often forgotten in the QA experience, and this is something I've definitely learned in my time being a developer, is that QA also needs a full set of expectations and kind of materials and guidelines and the Figma and the requirements just as much as developers do. So I know in this project, all of you are working with very, very thin cases to begin with. So it's really impressive that you guys were able to pull out this much altogether. All right. So again, that is our last presentation for the evening. That is Bug Zappers. And that's Alberto Romero, Anna H, and Troy Giebel. So that's it. Our very first bug jam, all complete. We have squashed all the bugs. We have set fire to the bugs. Bugs are gone. And so now it's just time to say thank you. First of all, thank you to Scripted Sprouts, which was the team from our February Code Jam. I know that it can be hard to see your project being picked apart by QA, but it's also really great at the same time because the things that QA is able to bring out and bring to your forefront of your mind is stuff that's only going to make the project better. And I can see that with a lot of the use cases and things that people caught tonight, like the fact that the date picker allows you to do 31 days in months that don't have 31 days. As a developer, I would never think to test that. So I'm really glad that you guys are all out there learning how to do that. So I want to say thank you for Scripted Sprouts, but also thank you to all of our students in the QA teams that are giving their time. I know you had a short amount of time, but you guys did amazing things. So from all of us here at TripleTen, the April Bug Jam presentations are now concluded. I want to remind you that if you are a student, be on the lookout in our Discord channels for the places where you can vote, the polls where you can vote. And if you're watching this on YouTube, comment in the comment section on which presentation and which project you liked the most. The winner of the audience favorite will get a prize from TripleTen. The results for the winners are going to be announced May 8th at 10 a.m. Eastern, and they will be available in Discord as well as on the TripleTen social media sites. I want to send a special thanks to everyone who helped organize this bug jam, such as Arena, Evenji, Izia, Natasha, Ilya, Daniela, Nadia, and my cat Sharkbait. He does a lot of work. You guys never know. Thank you again to all the participants. I'm so impressed. I can't wait to see what our next bug jam is going to bring forward. Again, my name is Tiffany Hall. You can find me at Tiffany Codes on Instagram, and you can find my business at RilexCustomWorks.com. Thanks, and have a great evening.